I'm Rachel. My cat Missy just left the bed right before I started filming, alas. But I'm here to do the 10 BookTubers Personality Tag. I was tagged by Marian Ryan, and the tag was originally created by Alan Morton, so I will link to their videos down below. So I was very flattered and excited to think about doing this tag after Marian tagged me, but admittedly, I wasn't so sure about the format. I am a small fry booktuber, I've called myself, and I've said I exist on the Tatooine of booktube, so I don't know if I have the clout to put people into the specific prompts that Alan created. I just thought for my purposes and my relationship with booktubers that would be a little bit forced. But I did want to take this opportunity to shout out 10 booktubers, and particularly those with smaller subscription accounts, at least on my feed. So I'll just say a bit about what I like about them and spread some booktube love, and maybe even do a little bit of matchmaking. So the first booktuber I want to talk about is Robert from Barter Hordes. I first started watching his channel earlier this year when I saw Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures talk about the BookTube prize in a video, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then I fell down the rabbit hole of the BookTube prize. Robert basically created the BookTube prize whole cloth to honor literary fiction and perhaps nonfiction starting next year. In fact, he has some pretty huge plans for the prize where he's hoping to have some financial backing, and already publishers have been starting to send him books, and he already reached out to a whole lot of judges this year who are participating officially. I'm participating unofficially, but next year he wants to make it even bigger so that more of the community is involved, and that would help with, I guess, fairness and of the ballots, and also, increase the popularity and make it more viable that way. So I've really been enjoying his videos where he has been administrating the prize and talking about his reasons for the way he structured the judging, and it just seems like such a wonderful opportunity to bring booktubers together to talk about recently published literary fiction and nonfiction, perhaps. I've personally been looking for a way to get more involved with the community, and it seems to fit my own interests and schedule, and I'm really hoping and looking forward to, and I'm really hoping I can be more involved next year. Next, I'll talk about Lindsay at Lindsay Reads. She reads so widely and so prolifically, it's quite impressive to me to watch her wrap-up videos and Friday reads and all of that. But I admit that one of the staples for me in watching her videos is seeing her cat Winnie always taking up the frame. And it reminds me of my old cat, my Calico Leia, who used to be on some of my older videos, and Missy, my newer cat, is now on some too. But Winnie certainly has a stage presence of all her own, and it's just really fun to see. As well as, of course, Lindsay's commentary on the book she's reading. Next, I'll talk about Becky Ford. I think one of the most unique things about her is her love for Daphne du Maurier, and how she's been reading through all of du Maurier's backlist. And she has a really interesting personal history that's sort of tied to the author as well. And I also go to Becky's channel for literary fiction content that interests me, and I'm always interested in her take on the books. My fourth is Jen from Remembered Reads. She also reads very widely. I'm thinking about her particularly as I'm picking up a couple of graphic novels. And I know she has a soft spot for World War I and nonfiction. She does these great travel vlogs too, where she's able to do split screens and voiceovers and narrate the types of things that she's doing, where she goes to various places all over the world. It's fascinating. Fifth, I have Lukash from Totally Pretentious. I first heard about Lukash when he and Curtis from Curtis Books and Films started up ShakeTube, which is now an annual month of reading Shakespeare plays. And I had recently done a just individualized read-along with Curtis of The Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy, and just as we were finishing that up, Shakespeare ramped up, and Curtis got rather famous for that, and I was like, hey, I knew him when. And I think that was when Lukasz was relatively new to BookTube as well, and I appreciate that he came out of the gate thinking of ways to interact with the community with these read-alongs. Like right now he's doing one for the Dune series as well. And otherwise he particularly reads a lot of classic literature, Greco-Roman and religious philosophy, and it's a unique take, I think, at least from what I see mostly on BookTube, so it's nice to see. Sixth, I'll mention Marian Ryan, who tagged me, and I'm very new to her channel as well. Looking forward to seeing more from her. Very grateful for the tag. I also realized that when you reached out to me, you talked about shared love for short stories, which is another sort of niche part of BookTube. So I wanted to point out that when Jen from Remembered Reads introduced herself to me, she also talked about appreciating my love for short stories. So FYI, for the two of you and for anyone else interested in short stories on BookTube, check these ladies out. Number 7, I'll mention Will at Earnestly Eston. He is the booktuber who I know to be closest in proximity to me. We both live in the DC area, and we met once last year. It'd be great to do another meetup. But anyway, he just uploaded a video for the first time in a while, so I hope he'll be back on the internet more regularly again. He's known for doing deep discussion videos of nonfiction works of subjects that interest him, and he's also a big opera buff. So to return to my matchmaking motif, Lukasz also loves opera, so again, the two of you would be interested in one another if you haven't found each other yet, and anyone else interested in opera should check them out too. For number 8, I will mention Peg at Peg the Book Prize Addict, who I also met along with Will last year when she came to the DC area, and I am hoping she'll be back again. We talked about doing a used bookstore crawl. She hasn't been making videos lately, and I believe she's not as thrilled with book prizes as she once was. But I would love to see your face again on BookTube and hear about whatever you're reading or knitting. For number 9, I'll mention J.D. Archer, who I personally should prop up a lot because he is the inspiration for the bulk of my AuthorTube videos. He and his writing group created the Author's Answer series, and most of my AuthorTube videos are me answering those questions. And I really love how creative they are and diverse, covering a variety of subjects both in reading and writing. He's particularly interested in science fiction and fantasy for people of that genre. And finally, at number 10, I'm going to mention Weston Ritchie, who was a booktuber I had communications with a while back. He's actually in an MFA program for poetry now and hasn't made videos in a long time. I follow him on some other social media platforms at least, but it'd be great if he returned to BookTube and gave that perspective both of poetry, which is another niche, and he also did some AuthorTube as well. And I believe participated in ShakeTube the first year, so yeah. So that about covers it for me now. I will leave links to these 10 BookTubers channels down below. Hope you check them out, and thanks so much guys for creating such intriguing content. I believe the rules of the tag are that anyone mentioned in this video will be tagged, so feel free to do it my way or to do it the traditional way that Alan laid down. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.